find that life could say goodbye. I'm not always polite, but I get the job done. Who says that work can never be fun? I'm simply unprofessional. Simply unprofessional. Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Simply Unprofessional. I am your host, Webby, and joining me tonight, my co-hostess with the mostest, Devin.
Hey, everybody. How's it going? I'm Devin.
And with a special guest, we got Austin hanging out with us today.
What's up, guys? I'm Austin.
You know...
Umbrellas.
That's right. I gotta say, I never get sick of that intro music.
It's good.
Always puts a smile on my face. All right. So, to all the listeners out there, we've made a couple jokes the last couple episodes, me and Devin, about why we have not reviewed Black Panther yet. Okay,
We're racist.
I guess so. But it's okay, everybody, because Devin's my black friend. He said it's okay.
Okay.
We even did the Infinity War movie before Black Panther. But listen, we're reviewing Black Panther now. Better late than never, right?
But never late is better.
Come on, guys. Be like that teacher back in school when, like, you're 2 weeks late in your paper and they're just like, they're like, I'm marking down a letter grade, but I'll still take it. Like, be cool.
Austin,
Yeah.
your rugs ain't shit.
I know.
All right? Just keep your mouth shut over there.
I don't like my rugs either. Fuck them.
So, we are going to talk about Black Panther. I just watched it the other night. Devin just watched it last night. Austin, you saw it when it kind of came out.
Yeah, but I seen it like twice in theaters. So.
Okay. I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to preface this, and then I'm going to ask Devin. Actually, Devin, me and you have talked about this. One thing that I think, it didn't necessarily ruin the movie for me. It was a good movie. I'm not gonna sit here and shit on the movie. But one thing that is negative about it is the going into the movie, watching it after hearing so many fucking people put it up on some goddamn pedestal. So many fucking people were like, oh, this is the best fucking Marvel movie yet. This is hands down the number one best movie, blah, blah, blah. It's overhyped. So going into it, you're expecting it to blow you away. And it just did not for me. Like, it was a great movie. Don't get me wrong. It was a great movie. For me, it does not even make my top 5, but it is a great Marvel comic book movie. And I consider it to be an average comic book movie. Now, when I say average, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, it was way better than average. No, listen, okay? Comic book movies, especially the Marvel ones, are my favorite movies out of all genre of movies, really. So, it being average to a Marvel comic book movie is not a bad thing. But I do not understand how this is a number one hands down favorite amongst people. Like, I don't know, it had its moments, but I wasn't sitting on the edge of my seat with enthusiasm or anything like that. Devin, what do you think?
I'm very much kind of in the same boat. Very good. I think it's a good movie. Solid movie. I can't find anything to really complain about in the movie, specifically. I can't find anything, like, the CGI was good. That was there. The CGI was good. The fight scenes were good. The acting was good. Like, there's really nothing there. But the one thing I felt it lacked for me was really that wow factor, and, like, that would have elevated it to the next level.
Now,
sorry. Go ahead, Webby.
Now, do you agree that seeing a movie after hearing people hype it up so much lessens the movie for you? Or
I believe for some people, yes. For me, no. I don't really get into the hype of movies.
Right.
I'm just not the person to do that. Like, if you hype a movie up to me and I watch a movie, I'm like, I'll be like, yo, Rugs
See,
ain't shit.
Well, that's the thing. Is like the whole time when I was watching it the other night, like everyone had put this movie up on a pedestal, and I was just watching it, waiting for that moment that was
That was the reason why I was there.
Yeah, like that aha moment. Like, oh, this is why they loved it so much. Yeah. I couldn't find it. I mean, I think the aha moment for me that really kind of scaled this movie up past some of the other Marvel movies, anyway. Motherfucking armored rhinos. I mean, that was cool. I like rhinos.
That was dope.
You know, but I don't know. Austin, what did you think of the movie?
I really liked it. It did make my top 5, but I definitely get where you guys are coming from, and the stuff with that Devin said about there not being like really a big wow factor. I think like the wow factor for me at least it's not like a big pop in your head type thing or anything big that happened. It's over the whole movie. Like bringing like what the plot is and like you start to realize different things about the characters is the equivalent to the wow factor for me.
Right. I mean, right. But I think that's, I mean, so essentially you're saying the wow factor is just, pacing, story.
Yes.
The pacing, the story, the writing and the character development, which is why I say it is a perfect, wholesome movie, and wholesome in the fact that it is, I have nothing to complain about. Yeah. But it to me, like, for instance, so to give you an idea, I was telling Webby this earlier, to get into my top 5, my number 5 movie is, and this is the movie I judge, I have 2 movies I judge all other Marvel movies and comic movies off of, Marvel specifically, off of, to kind of judge where it falls on my spectrum. To get into my top 5, you have to impress me or be as impressive as Winter Soldier.
Iron Man 2. Oh.
Fuck you. Winter Soldier. Iron Man 2.
Come on, everyone loves Whiplash.
I've taken shits more talented than Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2 is the first appearance of Spider-Man in this universe.
Anyway. Yeah. So for me is Winter Soldier. So Winter Soldier for me is like, I rate between Winter Soldier and then the baseline movie for me as a good movie, a good comic movie for me is Iron Man 1. So Iron Man 1 and Winter Soldier, if a movie falls between there, it's a great movie, it's a good movie, it's a solid movie. If it doesn't hit the benchmark of at least Iron Man 1 for me, I didn't necessarily like it. So far, all the Marvel movies have done that except for Iron Man 2 and 3, and arguably, depending on the moment, Age of Ultron.
What about Thor 2?
Thor 2, yes. I kind of forgot about Thor 2 altogether.
Thor, I'm not gonna lie. It seems like most of the sequels have like a little bit of hit or miss here, but
Iron Man 2 or 3, 3 wasn't as bad. I will say Iron Man 3 is the only only Marvel movie at the time that I fell asleep on 4 times trying to watch.
Hold on. Movie chemistry time. Want. We gotta I need to get like sound effects. I don't know what that want was. Yep. Okay, so movie chemistry. I want you guys' opinion. If we took Iron Man 2 and Thor 2, The Dark World, and we crammed that shit in a beaker and mixed it around, do you think it would be a better pile of shit than both of those movies individually? Or do you think you'll just have a bigger pile of shit?
The best way I can describe that is, I think if you do that, you have Gary Busey sounding like fucking the really annoying dude that voiced Sebastian. Gilbert Gottfried. So that's kind of what that looks like on paper.
Oh my god, I want to see Gilbert Gottfried in a Marvel movie now.
That's Gary Busey being Gary Busey with Gilbert Gottfried's voice. That's what that is.
Gilbert Gottfried as Super Skrull.
Okay.
No.
I'm out. Let's do it.
No, I'm out. I'm out so hard. I am ejecting out of this plane so hard.
If you mashed up Iron Man 2 and Thor 2, you would have Thor 2 with Iron Man in it, because Thor would come through, kill Whiplash, be done with it, and then Iron Man would help Thor.
And then just maybe Iron Man would like wreck the entire plot of Thor 2 and we wouldn't worry about it. But yeah, Iron Man 2 and 3 and Thor 2, Iron Man, and Thor 1 honestly hits below it barely hits below, but it hits below the my test of Iron Man 1. It's not even as good as Iron Man 1. I will tolerate Thor 1 because I know it's an origin story, and a lot of origin stories can be clunky.
And because
at
Kat
times.
Dennings in it.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
And also
That-
because of Cat Dennings.
That increases the ratings of all Thor movies.
Yes.
except the third one, she wasn't a bitch.
The third one she didn't need to be. The third one was actually good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Kat Dennings, if you're out there listening to Simply Unprofessional, we here at Simply Unprofessional love you. Just
We love you. You need to just
do your thing.
let me slide in those DMs. That's all I'm saying.
Oh. Okay. Let that one in.
But more importantly than that, back to what I was actually talking about. So I would say Black Panther for me now replaces, only because Iron Man 1 is kind of starting to get dated. It now replaces for me Iron Man 1 as kind of the benchmark of what the minimum expectations I have walking into a Marvel movie is now Black Panther.
Okay.
So it is now my baseline for what makes a good Marvel movie. So if I go into a Marvel movie from this point forth and it's not even as interesting or as good as Black Panther, then it's not going to make my list as a good movie, and I'm probably not going to like it favorably. I may like parts of it, but I'm not going to like it favorably.
All right. Now, Austin, so Devin gave us a breakdown of kind of how he mentally goes into picturing his top 5 and what rates a good movie for him, at least as far as the Marvel movies go. How do you determine like your top 5?
Is Spider-Man in it?
Okay.
Wrong.
Doesn't have Spider-Man. No. Is CM Punk playing Casey Jones? No. That still needs to happen at some point. That needed to happen at some point. Not anymore, but they need to happen.
Who would I get to play Casey Jones?
CM Punk was great for it back when he had the long hair. He was perfect for it. And he used to play hockey, except now he's just like a whiny bitch. So that's a separate issue.
I like Taylor Kitsch for Casey Jones.
Yeah. That's not bad.
I was not opposed to Stephen Amell as Casey
I was
Jones.
not opposed to Stephen Amell, like I was saying.
Oh yeah, Stephen Amell.
But we're not talking about Ninja Turtles.
You want to?
You know what? How
Not
about
yet. We will do. I do want to do an SU based off. We'll just do both Ninja Turtles movies in one SU because I don't have too much.
I just
to
thought
say
of a really
about
cool
either.
SU topic for later. Everybody who comes to the table brings like 2 or 3 movies, and kind of on the fly, you guys have to cast these movies.
But what if we feel like the movies are already cast?
No. I mean, like you come up with like a plot.
Oh,
Like a plot in 3 characters.
You know,
You have to cast this movie.
We haven't went back and did the rest of casting for Distractions.
true.
We have not. And now that Vamp's come out, we could do Vamp.
Oh,
Very true. All right, so Austin, do you have a way of determining your top 5? We still have not answered this question.
well, I guess like going on the lines of Devin, I think my minimum movie, like you need to be this good or better to be in, is Guardians 2. Like that was one of the movies that I think I feel the same way you do about Black Panther. Webby, like it was a awesome movie, but it got really overhyped to me, and I didn't think it was as good as the first one.
Right.
And I didn't think it was even better than a lot of the other Marvel movies.
Right.
I still thought it was a good movie, but
It's a good movie. I think me and Webby collectively, though, I think we just kind of clump Guardians 1 and 2 together and put them in our top 5.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I do.
I just say,
mean,
like,
1 and 2.
in my top 5 list, yes, Guardians of the Galaxy is in there. And that is referring to both the first and second movie. So.
Yeah, my top 5 is, I told Webby the other day, it's Infinity War, Civil War, Homecoming, probably Avengers 1, and then Black Panther.
It switches off for me a little bit, but yeah.
This is the first time I think Avengers is going to fall out of my top 5. The first Avengers. And I think I'm going to put Thor at number 4, Thor 3 at number 4, and Black Panther is number 5.
See, I rate my top 5 just in my own, like, I consider in my own mind rewatchability, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can I see myself watching this movie over and over again over a certain length of time. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I mean, I don't have that sense with Black Panther. I will say Infinity War has moved its way up to my number one. For very obvious reasons for those of you who listened to the last episode and who know me. I actually made a joke to someone on Facebook too about how I actually love Infinity War because of how many people Thanos made cry, and not just in the movie, in real life. Their tears all sustain me. They make me grow stronger.
So that means I don't
Cat
know.
stands
I don't know how much to say about this. I guess I don't really know anything, so this is no spoilers. But I guess that means in Infinity War or in Avengers 4 is going to be your least favorite movie because everybody's going to.
No, I mean the heroes will always. It's a comic book movie. The
Yeah.
heroes will always rally and defeat the villain. It's just, I mean, I've come to expect that. But Avengers 4, whatever it's going to be called, might be my number 2 favorite movie. It's still going to have Thanos in it. Like, I'm kind of the same way that you are with Spider-Man. It's like,
Yeah.
It has Thanos in it? Yeah, it's up there now.
You know what movies in my top 5 that I don't think many people consider in the top 5? Deadpool.
What? No, I really liked Deadpool.
Yeah, I liked it.
I would say,
I think Deadpool 2 is going to be great because I feel about Cable the way you feel about Thanos.
see, I'd have to say, currently, I
Both
think
Josh Brolin.
my top 5 would be Infinity War, Ant-Man, the Guardians of the Galaxy. Again, I'm just lumping them in as 1 and 2. And then probably Logan.
Yeah, see, it's hard, man. See, if you just cut it off at the Disney stuff,
if we're cutting it off at Disney,
then
only,
I still have a hard time nailing down a solid top 5. Like I have 2 or 3 movies that are locked in.
Like if you're cutting it off at Disney, then I'm just replacing Logan with Thor 3. So it's really easy for me because Thor 3 comes in. Like I'd have to say my 6th spot would be a tie between Deadpool and Thor 3. So
I gave you guys my top 5 Marvel movies. If you took and added all Marvel, not just DC or not just Disney and all that, it would still be the same.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
So, but in any case, so Black Panther. Devin, do you want to give us kind of a quick rundown, like where we start the movie, where the movie starts?
We start the movie with him on a it's a news broadcast. He's on a ship with kind of his royal guard or sidekick, if you will.
Like second in command or whatever.
Yeah, second in command, royal guard general. I think she's the general of the army. I think actually.
Mm-hmm.
And they're flying and watching a news broadcast, kind of recapping what happened in Avengers 2. Or Civil War, whichever one it was. Civil War?
Civil War, yeah.
Civil War, there we go. Yeah, it happened in Civil War. About with his father dying and him kind of ascending the throne. And we find out that he hasn't actually officially ascended the throne yet.
Right.
And he's going to go pick up his, I'm not gonna call her his betrothed, but like his girlfriend-esque type thing, because she's like she's an undercover. She's like an undercover. She's a spy. She infiltrates like militia groups across Wakanda and Africa, I'm assuming.
Yep.
And kind of destroys them from the inside out. That's kind of what she does. So he's going to go pick her up, basically on just the premise that he wants her to be at his coronation as king.
Yep.
And that's kind of where we start off. Him finding her. He drops down. They find her, locate on. He jumps off the ship. He's like, "I got this. I don't need you." He tells that to his general. She kind of cuts him a look.
I do like the little EMP balls he has, the beads.
Yes, the EMP beads. I do love those.
Those are pretty.
I do. Neat. I will say, character-wise, and I think the most comic relief.
Yeah, hold on. I think I know where you're going, but I'm gonna cut everybody off right now. I will start with you, Devin, since this was originally your thought. In this movie, who was your favorite character?
Probably his sister.
Okay. Austin, who was yours?
Killmonger.
You fucking biased motherfucker.
I mean, Killmonger was good. I like Killmonger. I like his whole like logic when he was in the museum.
Yeah.
You know, I like his whole logic.
Yes.
He's like, you have all these guards watching me when I walk in, but you're not watching what you put into your body.
That museum part was one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Yeah. Did not like the villain they had though. Besides Killmonger, the other guy did not like him and his fucking like plastic age arm.
Yeah.
I will say,
For you, wasn't it the CIA dude?
yeah, I'm gonna say that I was
Bilbo?
tied for favorite character was his sister and the CIA agent.
I love those two together. I love those
Yeah.
two kind of their little interactions together.
Yeah, I will say that that particular actor I felt pulled the movie together for me in a little bit better. I don't know, just something about his scenes, like you said, his scenes with the sister and just his demeanor. What's his name? Martin Freeman, right? That's the actor.
I think.
I think so.
Actually, you know what? No, I think we got a little
Mark
bit off.
Freeman.
I think a little bit off topic. Actually, I think originally not off topic, but a little bit off order. I think it picks up in 1992 with King.
Oh, yeah.
T'Chaka.
Oh yeah,
And he's
they
visiting his
show
brother.
you. Yeah, they show
Yeah, he's
you
visiting
the
his
flashback
brother, which we later find out. Spoiler alert.
down
later
in
find out
Oakland.
in Oakland, California, who is the father. His brother is the father of Killmonger.
I bet he was one of the Niners, Austin. Do you get
The-
that? Do you get that reference?
Who? The
brother?
Oh, that's a GTA reference or a Saints Row reference?
No, that's a Sons of Anarchy reference.
Well, see, I thought Sons of Anarchy, but was anybody on a bike?
No, I'm just saying because they were in Oakland,
Oh,
and weren't the Niners out of Oakland? Anyway, it's just,
probably right.
I figured you'd get that reference, but nope.
I did, but I was like, I'm not gonna make. I don't want to feel stupid, so I'm not
Great,
gonna.
great. So now I feel stupid. Thanks. Anyway, continue.
Don't
Devin.
worry, nobody
Go
feels
ahead.
as stupid as me because I'm just sitting here listening to you guys.
Anyway,
Like, what-
go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So he's he comes with his brother, and talking to his brother kind of seems like a quality of life visit, if you will. But then we find out that his brother has basically sold out Wakanda and was kind of doing an arms deal of vibranium to outsiders.
With Claw.
With Claw specifically, or he tipped off Claw. At that point, I don't think we knew it was Claw. I think we just knew he was selling outsiders. I'm not 100% sure.
No, they showed him the hologram of Claw.
Okay, yeah. So that happened, and then we find out. Do they show him killing him, or they just show him leaving?
No, they show
they
him.
just show him leaving. I think.
No, they show him kill him.
I know later they showed him kill him. I don't know. Did they show him kill him?
Yeah, I don't think at that point. I think that was during the different flashback.
The flashback, yeah. Like I think in the flash, I think that's when not
Morgan Freeman, not Morgan Freeman.
We both did the same shit.
Yeah.
Fucking
Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker. There we go. When Forrest Whitaker, that damn eye. When Forrest Whitaker was talking about his flashback, like, giving it from his point of view, that's when we saw, I think, him kill him. But yeah, so they kind of confronted him. They said he was going to come back and face trial, and I'm guessing he did not like that option, and was killed on sight. We find that out later. But then it cuts, and that's when it cuts to the whole fight scene we were just talking about, where him going to go rescue.
I will say, if I was ever in the jungle,
Okoye? No.
Aoki or something, right?
Ikea.
No, not Nike, not Ikea.
No, he's
IKEA.
He's extracting Nakia,
Oh yeah.
who's his ex-lover,
I thought we were talking about
with
the general.
Okoye.
I thought we were talking about the general.
Her name's Okoye. He's with Okoye.
Anyway, if I was in the jungle at night and I shined a flashlight up in a tree and I just saw some dude in a black cat suit, I'd probably poop myself. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of caught me a little
honestly,
off guard.
Honestly, first thought I would go through my mind, because I'm just that kind of person. Bath salts.
You would assume that you were on them, or that they were on them up in a tree.
They're on bath salts. So why is a grown ass man in a black cat suit climbing a tree at presumably 3 a.m?
Okay, so
Bath salts.
Devin feels the Black Panther's on bath salts the whole movie.
I mean, if I was random dude in the Congo who just looked up at a tree,
Hey man, we don't know what the heart-shaped herb is. Could be bath salts.
Right. Could be bath salts. It's just irradiated bath salts. It's
condensed,
irradiated bath
yeah.
salts from fucking irradiated bath salts from this like spill off of vibranium. That's all it is. That's all they are, and that's how they're going to make more for the next movie.
Yeah.
They can go to Bath Beyond and get more bath bombs, and they plant them.
So we go. They cut to them coming back, and greeting his mom and his sister. And then there's the ceremony, essentially, for him to become king. So all of the tribes. Now we have to preface this with, I want to say there was 5 or 6 tribes.
There are
5, I think.
5. Yeah.
Okay, so there were 5 or 6. Yeah, there were 5 tribes that when vibranium hit the Earth. Okay, he tells a little story to some kid.
No, I think it actually is 6 tribes. It's 5 tribes, but then I think
Then
the
one
other
of
tribes
them
broke
cuts
off.
off.
No,
Because
the
they
mountain
shun
tribe.
technology, I think.
It says there's 5 tribes, and he unites all of them, but the Jabari tribe.
Okay.
And that's the gorillas.
Yeah, the mountain tribe.
Yeah.
So all the other tribes, other than the mountain tribe, show up at this event, and like there's like a lot of like I guess it's dancing. I don't know. It was more like undulating, I guess. Like they're just like shaking their shoulders around. Like they're not even really dancing.
They're shuffling.
Yeah.
They got the Holy Ghost.
So essentially, it's the head priest, played by Forrest Whitaker, goes around and asks everybody, you know.
First he removes the blessing of the Black Panther.
Well, I thought he only did that if
he did it first,
somebody
and
actually.
No, he did it first, and then he asked, "Is there anyone who wants to challenge?" Now that it's removed, anyone who wants to challenge. So he removed it from him, which is weird. I feel like that's just highly inefficient. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like they could have like invent like tech that would like dampen him.
Yeah.
Or something like. I feel like just
like
removing
suppress
it
his
and then
power.
giving it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like or something. Like I think it's highly inefficient.
Instead,
but
let's
that's
let's
nitpick.
make you drink this probably very toxic elixir that obviously
looks
has you
toxic.
go through pain. Like you obviously feel something. So yeah, it essentially removes all of his reflexes and strength and speed and whatnot. All of the stuff that the heart-shaped herb that bestows Black Panther powers onto you does. And then one by one, each of the tribes, like their second in command or whatever, calls out and says that they're not gonna fucking fight him. No challenges today. Until you start hearing like weird monkey calls coming from a cave, and the mountain tribe people show up, all like painted white, because it's like snowy. What'd you say, Austin?
I didn't say anything.
God damn it!
Oh, boy.
Devin, did you hear that?
I very much heard it.
Should we just brush this aside?
Let's just run.
Or should we throw the spotlight on Austin and make him explain what he just said?
Oh, faces is getting real red. I can't see it. My ears are burning.
Now we know where Michael Jackson came from. Moving on.
So for all you listeners, Austin just said that these black people had whiteface on.
And then I just broke Austin.
Anyway,
I heard the gut wrenching from Austin over there.
He is probably muted and vomiting right now. So these people show up, and the leader of their tribe does want a challenge. He says it's challenge day. This is the one time that they're willing to come out of their mountains. So, what is it? It's I thought the cool part, they're fighting on top of a fucking waterfall, first off. Okay? Like, in the water. It's only like ankle deep or shin deep or something like that, but it's still, they're in the water. And I thought the cool part, because I did not see this coming. First off, it's fight until one of them either gives up or dies.
Yes.
Those are the rules. Either concede or die. But the cool part I thought was Black Panther, you know, he had his warrior women with the spears there step forward. And then what was the tribe name of the other guys? Starts with the J?
Jabari.
The Jabari.
Yeah.
He had his dudes step up with spears, and they formed like a semicircle.
And they started backing them down. So
and then like every so often you'd see Forrest Whitaker like slam his spear down, and then everybody holding in would like take a couple steps forward to make the fighting area smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
Very PUBG. There's a PUBG reference for all of you. So I mean, obviously T'Challa, he just ends up beating this guy. It was a little bit of a challenge, but he ends up putting him in like some chokehold right on the edge of the waterfall. To me, it looked like T'Challa was hanging more off the waterfall than the other guy.
It definitely did. He definitely was 100%.
And eventually the guy, you know, T'Challa kept telling him, he's like, you know, your people need you. Concede. I don't want to have to kill you. And eventually the guy conceded because he, you know, understood his people do need him.
Yep. I have a quick sidebar after this.
Yeah, I mean that's all I got right now for this.
Well, quick sidebar for me, and I think for me this would have elevated the movie up to where kind of the level where it was. Where if this happened a little bit later in the movie, I mean like maybe 10, 15 minutes later in the movie, and they kind of showed, like before T'Challa became officially king, he went after what's his name. Like he did at one point. What was his name? Fucking the dude with the arm.
Claw.
Was that Claw? Okay, yeah. So he resurfaced
with the fucking
laser
beam cannon.
He resurfaced. Yeah, he resurfaced and took like a strike team after Claw earlier on in the movie, and missed him. Right. Came back, became the king. That happened, and then have Killmonger come in right after this fight. Immediately after this fight, where he's injured and everything else, he does the whole thing, beats them, and then have him take down Claw and show him basically just being a better king.
That would have been cool.
Have him being a better king, and like so, there is actually like have him being a better king. Have him open up the gates and have him actually showing off the world, like showing the world, you know, have it show off, like ever since since Wakanda opened up its gates and started, you know, providing support to the African American communities, crime's gone down, XYZ, this has happened, you know, poverty's raised, you know, have all that stuff happen over a couple of weeks. And, you know, have, you know, why this whole time, during this time, why this is all happening, you could have T'Challa doing a whole like vision quest thing where he's trying, you know, learning what it means to be a king, right? Does all that. And then he comes back and challenges Killmonger. But then you have more of a reasoning behind why later down the road, like why some of his people support Killmonger. Yeah. And more so, you have more of a reasoning behind it, not just like a one-off, oh, this is what happened and I beat you. You know? Well, I mean, I would have liked that a little bit better, and it would have made Killmonger more of the villain in the movie. I felt like they split it too much between Claw and Killmonger. I feel like he didn't get a lot of good screen time.
I don't think doing it that way would have made Killmonger look more like a villain, though.
But that was the point. I don't think they really were going for that. Like, because at the end of the movie, you know, you have T'Challa kind of understand what Killmonger was saying. Like, yeah, we have all this technology and all these weapons. We can help.
Right.
And that would kind of prove the point. But it would be kind of a thing where he's a villain, but not really. Like, and that was kind of the point. He wasn't really in this movie. I think the villain was the difference in ideas. Yes. That was the real villain in this movie.
The villain was the aggressiveness.
Well, that's the thing.
They're two sides of the same coin.
I was under the impression that Killmonger, okay, yes, he wanted to share the tech and share what Wakanda had with the people, but in his way of doing it, he wanted to arm the oppressed people of nations to allow them to topple nations.
Right.
And then
right,
he was going to
exactly.
have Wakanda sit at the top of that toppled nation.
Right,
Like,
exactly. No, that's exactly
so-
what it was. But I was saying, like, through that process, like, if you saw the communities he was giving these weapons to start to actually improve, or you saw,
But it wasn't.
nations
It
that
was.
were-
It. But
No,
the whole thing.
I know
It
that
was
wasn't the
never.
case. That
It
wasn't
was
the
never
case.
once about improving the nation. Killmonger wanted these nations to fall.
Oh no, he wanted the power to shift. He wanted a power shift. But it would be interesting if, like, let's say, let's jump to, like, let's go, like, the Congo, like, in like another thing in Africa, or like another third world country where you have a very highly armed group of people suppressing more people, and it does all that, and that's actually, like, yeah, he's being really aggressive, and it's very, very warmongering what he's doing. But if it actually showed, like, hey, this is actually improving things, this is actually becoming better. Yes, there are some casualties. Yes, it's not ideal, but however, it is overall, there is an improvement. Like, there is a improvement on the scale. I think that would have provided a better way. And because of there is still the casualties, there is still the unjust of it. Like, yeah, you're giving people these weapons, they're overthrowing governments, they're overthrowing things like that. That's not the way this should be. This is not the way we should do it. And then have T'Challa explain all that, and then, like, this is the way we should do it. But have him actually understand that, yes, we do need to maybe open up our borders, and we do need to provide support, but this isn't the way to do it. And have that difference be the main difference between the two. That, I think, would have provided for a better overall character that could have even elevated or raised everything else. Because Killmonger, for me, like, I liked him as a villain, and I liked him as kind of an anti-hero, but at the same time, I just felt he didn't get enough screen time to cement either one of those things very well.
See, I can agree to the point where I would have liked him to. Spoiler alerts, obviously. I would have liked him to had survived this film.
Yeah.
And go on to be either a villain with a different agenda later on, or an anti-hero. I would have been okay with both.
Killmonger's whole thing in the comic books is resurrection.
Well, not only that, keep in mind, I don't think they shoved anything down his throat. He still has the purple orb thing, the purple heart thing, the heart-shaped herb in his system.
Yeah.
He does.
So, I mean, that stab in the chest, he might survive that.
Yeah,
because we never get to see him buried. We never see him cremated. We never see him put out to sea or anything like that.
Right,
So,
but one of his things is, like, he's been is in the comic book. He gets resurrected. He's resurrected. He's kind of like a Ra's al Ghul almost.
Right. So, like,
he's resurrected constantly and things like that. So honestly, it's a good chance that we may see him again come back.
So don't get me wrong. I would want to see him come back, but I think that the way that they paced the movie and the direction they sent the movie in was the ideal way.
Like, that, and they did it perfect. Like, they when they do kill him off, you feel for him,
right?
And then he dies,
right?
And it's like, that's his story.
And like, you can see him legit come back as either.
Right. What's given, I feel like I definitely felt for him what's given, but I felt had they gave him a little bit more time, a little bit more screen time, and let you as the fans kind of sympathize with him more, it would have meant more. His death would have definitely meant more, and it would have been a little bit more impactful than it was. I just didn't feel too much. I didn't feel too much when he died. Like, I knew what they were doing. They wanted to make him sympathetic, but I felt he didn't have enough screen time to make him super sympathetic.
See, okay, I can agree with that. I wouldn't have minded him having more screen time pre-becoming King of Wakanda. Once he became King of Wakanda and he started setting his plans in motions, I think the Wakandans fighting back and stopping their airships from actually exiting the fucking force field little area, the perimeter thing and stuff, and the urgency in that shows you that how important it is to them to keep their secret. And then you have T'Challa coming in afterwards and realizing that this guy had a point, but he was going about it wrong, and then at the end opening up the lab and the social building thing there, where the apartments used to be, to share Wakanda, social policies and sciences and stuff like that. I think that was a perfect mixture of that, because it gave you that urgency that in that time before they knew what T'Challa knew, the Wakandan way of life, that they fought for it. Instead of just allowing it to, open up the gates and let's just show everybody what we got. Because then it really did put a fucking target. It would have put a target on Wakanda. Now it's still technically secret, but, they do show that, okay, the Wakandans aren't necessarily this third world country we thought they are. They are pretty improved on sciences and stuff like that. But you don't necessarily know, they're sitting on a top of, a vibranium mountain,
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I definitely could see. I would have liked to get Killmonger a little bit more screen time before then. Find out more of his motivations before. I did feel like out of all the movie, his motivations for it and his resolving of his motivations was slightly rushed. I guess that's the only way I could put it.
I can agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, me personally, I would have liked to see him. I would have liked to see his plans kind of come out and like his aggressiveness come out more slowly. Like he starts off with arming and improving, like kind of not slave nations, but like the under supported nations. He starts doing that, and then he's like, it's not enough. And then he gets more aggressive with it, and he's like, but it's not enough. Right. And then he keeps going. Like, during this time he's king, I would have liked to see that happening. And then he gets to this final point here where, and I would even be like, at one point, maybe, T'Challa's like, no, he beat me. He beat me. He's a better king. He's the king Wakanda needs, kind of thing, right?
See, I disagree. The way that T'Challa came back, I thought was fucking perfect. When he came up and he's like, listen, I did not give up, and as you can see, you did not kill me.
Oh, no.
This is still on.
I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree on that. No, that was the second idea was just me spitballing. I agree. Like the way he came back was badass. You can leave that in. I was just saying, though, like, whatever. But like, if he was actually recouping more than he was, he was like recouping longer than he was and things like that. Like, I would have loved to see kind of more Killmonger as more of a king. Like, see what he's doing, and then like have him have that constant hunger, being like, no, it's not enough. More, more.
I'll say
more.
This though,
and then it starts pushing it further and further, and he gets to kind of that warmongering attitude of, okay, now it's time. Like, I would even say maybe he comes in with somewhat good intentions. He comes in like, yeah, let's do this. You know what? Let's come in and do this. And he starts doing this, and he starts seeing it's not enough. I tried being peaceful. I tried just, providing assistance and support to these nations. It's not enough. We need to take it up a notch. And then he starts kicking in with his other training. Like, yeah, okay, so we have people all over the world. We're going to send them out. We're going to do what I've been trained to do. We're going to take nations down from the inside. And then he starts doing that. And then that's when that information's brought, that's when information's kind of brought to, like, it's brought back to T'Challa. And he's just like, you know what? It's time to go. He wakes up. Yeah, he's in the spirit world, whatever. They do the whole, like, we need you. He does the whole, like, superhero-esque wake up, come back kind of thing. He suits up. He's ready to go. And then that, then he pops in from there. And that would have been better, because I felt Killmonger was a better character and Claw was not a good character. I felt like they wasted screen time on Claw. I felt Claw was not really that good of a character.
Claw is your stereotypical, like, in wrestling terms, he would be the Brooklyn Brawler. Claw was
the jobber.
Yeah, he was the jobber. He was the comedic background.
See, the problem was he wasn't, though, because he actually was effective in what he did. So the problem was he was more of a vehicle. He was a vehicle for Killmonger. He was a vehicle there specifically. Yeah. So Black Panther would hit him, fail, and then Killmonger would succeed, and he was Killmonger's way in.
Yeah.
Because, like his father always said, even though you are Wakandan, they won't accept you. But that was his meal ticket, so to speak. Yeah, I'm Wakandan, and I did something your king couldn't even do.
Now, I do like that T'Challa got pissed off whenever he found out that his dad just left Killmonger after he killed his brother. Like, when he I guess the
Had to
second time
maintain his
No.
secret.
when he almost died, and he went back and talked to his dad.
Right.
Like I did like that he was mad about it. Like he felt bad that happened to him.
Well, yeah, that's because T'Challa has empathy, you know,
Yeah.
and he realized that, you know, the world is changing around them, and that they can't continue to keep with the old ways, and that they
Mhm.
have to try to adapt to become effective
Mhm.
and to ensure that things like that don't happen again. You know, um, now Devin, how would you have thought if Killmonger maybe broke off with that other tribe that stood by him, the one with the rhinos, and then they all retreated and formed like almost their own tribe?
That would have been equally fine if like there was a like after the battle, whatever, or the battle, nobody conceded, nobody won, and literally it just split the tribe. You know, it was split the tribe. They agree one way, these agree the other way, and it kind of split. It split Wakanda, and it came down ultimately that kind of fight. That would have been interesting too. I think it would have been that would have been more. I think ultimately that would have been a different story at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But no, I mean absolutely. Like I think that would have been more. It would have been interesting, but I think that would have been like a different story.
All right. I don't know where to go from here. I'm at a loss.
I mean, we pretty much gave the movie. We talked about what happened in it.
I mean, because honestly, I felt really. I mean, we don't really need to cover too much about the movie plot wise because it's been like 3 months.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if you're listening this deep into the podcast and you haven't watched the movie, you're probably lost anyway.
Anyway, so that's like, you know, I mean, so that's why I kind of went off on that small tangent there. I say small, but not really, but whatever. Went off on a tangent, kind of just discussing possible movie ideas, like in terms of what
Now,
how it would have been.
what do you guys think of some of the tech in this movie, like the new Panther suit with the kinetic absorption?
That was pretty cool. And did you all see him using it in Avengers?
Yeah.
Like every now and then it would be like boom, and a big ass purple blast would come up, and I'd be like, he's dope.
Yeah, absolutely. I loved it. It's dope. You know, it's very.
I think my favorite tech is when I'm looking at her name right here. I'm hoping I pronounce her. I think it's Shuri.
His sister, yeah,
His
Shuri.
sister.
Yeah, the sister, yeah.
Yeah. So she, for one, that car thing was awesome.
Yeah.
And two, like I'm reading right here, she's the smartest person in the world, even more so than Tony Stark.
Yeah, she's as in the current MCU, she is the smartest individual in the MCU.
Now,
You know
Austin,
who's gonna take it over?
Austin, me and you,
Yeah.
we've had some conversations, and Devin, me and you had this conversation yesterday. I think the only reason that this is so far an okay statement, stating that she is the smartest person in the world, is because I do not consider any of the Fantastic Four movies
Yeah.
part of this universe yet. Not
Not
until they
yet.
recreate it.
Or
Um,
they say that they're, well, they can't. They can't do that with Fantastic Four because Killmonger is not Johnny Storm. So,
right. But I did argue that me and Devin had this conversation yesterday. I did argue that Reed Richards, in my understanding
Mhm.
through comics, is the smartest person
Yeah.
on the planet.
Yep, he is. And I brought up yesterday the smartest Marvel men, so to
Yeah.
speak. Mr. Fantastic is number 1, Doctor Doom number 2, Hank Pym is number 3,
Yeah.
Banner's 4, Spider-Man's 5, Black Panther is 6.
You
Now
know-
they did that where they made Black Panther less intelligent in this movie to give his sister kind of more of a shine.
Right.
But in the
Okay.
comic book, he's just as smart as, like he trades with Iron Man, if not smarter than Iron Man.
And
He-
when-
he trades with Iron Man all the time.
Like when we're not putting Iron Man in the top, like top smartest people, he is one of the smartest people in the Marvel universe, but he's like a very, very good engineer.
He's an engineer.
Like,
He's an engineer. Like,
Right.
Mr. Fantastic
His
is
is-
very much across the board. Doctor Doom is. I would even argue and say Doctor Doom may be smarter than Mr. Fantastic. And the
if
only
that's
reason
true,
why I
then he
say
would beat
that,
him.
the only reason why I say that is because Doctor Doom has a vast knowledge. Like, he has sorcerer knowledge on the level of Doctor Strange. He has science knowledge on the scale of Mr. Fantastic. Like, if I was gonna make a team, and I'm like, all right, I need to make a team, and I can only pick one smart guy, I would go Doctor Doom because
He's versatile.
he's versatile. He
Yes.
covers everything.
I will
And
say
he
that
has his own
that's
freaking country.
I think that is one of the reasons why, like Austin just said, that's I think one of the reasons why Tony Stark isn't higher on the list is because he is specialized. He is like his knowledge is specialized in engineering, in that degree of science. Another reason why, like I argued yesterday, that Doctor Strange isn't on that list is because he is very specialized in the occult. He like mysticism, stuff like that. Whereas some of these other people who are on the list are specialized in more broad range thing. They're like maybe they have multiple specialties.
Right. And this
You
is
know.
a list of comic book resources, so take it as a grain of salt. These are the top 20 smartest characters in the MCU ranked. Number 20 is Ivan Vanko. Fucking what's his name? Mickey Rourke
Whiplash.
from Iron Man 2 Whiplash. 19, Hope Van Dyne.
Ooh,
18 is Peggy
Wow.
Carter.
Peggy Carter.
Not
What
in. I don't think they're just flat out rating. I think they're kind of doing overall intelligence. So, like, if you're gonna have her, whatever. Like, she's even scientific knowledge to show that she can do enough chemistry to dismantle a bomb.
I guess she is like Batman-esque.
Think for her time.
For her time too, yeah. And like they have Nick Fury here too. But I mean, like if you're gonna add tactics and everything in this, I would say Fury would definitely be on there.
Oh, let me just interject real quick. Star-Lord is a fucking amazing tactician. All right, go ahead.
All right. Abraham Erskine, the dude that came with the super soldier serum, and Captain. Like I said, take this with a grain of salt. Rocket Raccoon. I would love to see Rocket and Tony banter on engineering. That would be really funny. Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow, she's on there. Peter Parker. I think he definitely moves up the list as he gets older.
I think a lot of his thing, if you think about it, like he became Spider-Man, I think at 14.
So
he grows up with the smartest people working really close with him. Like
true.
Part of the Avengers, so he's with Hank Pym and Tony Stark and Reed Richards all the time.
Right.
Yep. Eric Selvig,
Mm.
the dude in Thor.
Yep.
The chick from Iron Man 3, Maya Hansen.
Okay.
Loki, which if you're again counting tactician and just overall cunningness, I would definitely put him on the list.
Well, he's a god. I mean,
Right.
Right.
Okay.
I wouldn't count him just because of that.
Arnim Zola,
Okay.
him. Helen Cho,
Yeah, the
Asian girl from Age of Ultron.
Biotics. Yeah.
Yep. Howard Stark,
Yeah. Okay.
Jane Foster. Okay. Strange, Banner. We have Hank Pym, Tony Stark, and Shuri.
What the
Wait,
hell?
Reed Richards is not even on there?
Well, this is the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, okay.
So that's why. He will be for sure. This is the MCU, but I mean, if you want to count comic books, you have to look at like Professor X and Magneto.
Yeah.
Like they're all up there too.
Isn't there a mutant called Forge that can basically, you can tell him what to...
Forge, his whole he is the best engineer in the world
Yeah.
because I think if I'm not mistaken, he can do one of his powers allows him to basically make up a blueprint of anything in his mind, and he can just make it. Which is where he can look at tech and break it down to like a screw. It's really screwed up, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, then you start getting into again. They might be now or moving forward brought into the MCU because of the whole Fox Disney thing, but this is like now you're getting into mutant territory where people have people have these intelligence as superpowers.
Right.
Yeah, because if you can literally look at something and memorize it, you're going to be smart. Because if you can like recall that information at any point.
Stop feeding into Webby's eidetic memory. He's like,
Most useful ability.
Mhm.
But like,
Most
okay, like,
convenient.
but I also give, like, okay, Spider-Man, for instance, in Homecoming, he's still in high school, right?
Yeah.
He's not even a senior in high school, is he? At that point,
No, I think he's a sophomore in the movie.
Yeah, okay. And he's already creating his own web fluid.
And shooters.
Yeah. So I mean, the kid, he grows up. I do give him credit. Spider-Man, it does become one of the most intellectual and smartest people on the planet later on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I hope they do him justice, like as far as brains go in the movies. But I would not be upset if they didn't. Like, I don't know if that makes sense.
who?
You just want to see him fly
Spider-Man.
around on the spider suit.
No, I don't. I don't want him to fly unless it's like a.
I loved
special
that. Was my
circumstance.
favorite part in Homecoming. I will
When he
say,
got
hands
caught?
down. No, when
Oh.
he was running through the field and he went to go spray up into the air, but there was nothing for it to connect to,
Yeah.
because that was the first time ever that ever happened. In everything else, in the comics and everything, other than the one time, you always see him shoot his web up into the air and it grabs a hold of something and he goes flying off.
There was a game. One of the games, if you didn't have buildings around, you couldn't swing. Like it wouldn't. It had to connect to something for you to swing.
Yeah. In one of the comic books, he was running through like a cornfield or something, and he had the same issue where he couldn't do it. So
They talk about that a lot with like the Kane Parker Scarlet Spider because he's in Houston and it's not like New York where there's skyscrapers everywhere.
Right. So back to Black Panther though. What was my question?
The tech stuff was the last thing you asked.
Oh yeah. Yeah, dude. Like having the CIA guy fly the ship at the end.
Yeah.
Dude, like that was the same type of tech that she used with the car, right?
I like how they set that up too. Like the car probably didn't matter, but they did this whole scene so they could show the car stuff, so they could be like, at the end, Bilbo's going to fly this spaceship, and
I do like how she she did her homework on the guy. Like that shows her her thoroughness. Is she knows that he was an Air Force pilot at one time. So when she set up the program for him because she knew he was going to be the one flying this thing, she set it up as if it were, a jet, an American. She in her version in her words, she said she set it up American style for him. So,
I do have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys think that technology like that will ever be around?
Yeah.
In our lifetime.
I mean, dude, we already have self-driving cars now.
Yeah.
Dude, 10 years ago, if somebody said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have self-driving cars," you'd fucking think they were insane.
I'd be like, no, they're gonna be flying.
Now, I mean, don't get me wrong. If I ever had a self-driving car, I would not trust it. There's a flip of a coin here. Yes, I do believe that we're gonna end up having technology like this eventually, but at the same time, fucking Terminator, okay?
Skynet.
Yeah, Skynet's gonna
It's
fall,
Alexa.
and Terminators are gonna
Siri.
rule the world. So
Alexa, Siri, and Cortana are gonna like form up, and
well, I mean, they already have.
There's a good reason why I don't have my credit card on Alexa.
I don't think it's the Russian. I don't remember who it was or what country it is. But there's the adaptable AI that they've come out with.
yeah,
Where
it
like
learns.
they put it in the they put it in like a mechanized body, and they made it appear human, but she actually shows emotion.
Yeah,
She can understand what that means and like why she's showing the emotion. And that's fucking it's cool, but it's scary at the same time.
Dude,
man.
I'm telling you right now, the first thing that's going to be our downfall is sex bots. Sex
Yeah.
robots are going to be around.
The population's going to plummet.
It was going to plummet. Not only is the population going to plummet, they're going to be the first ones to get fucking, like insane. It's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
It's going to be terrible. That's what's going to happen, though.
Well, I don't know, man. If you could have one that looked like Kat Denning, would you care if it was insane?
I would almost prefer it to be.
My man. That's why you're my co-host.
But see, he's not more worried about you being like concerned about it being crazy. He's more worried about it being crazy and going off. Like you're in the middle of doing your thing, and this thing's like kill everybody, and then you're like,
That's what you tell it. Yeah. Just let's finish this first, then go do your thing.
5-second head start. 5-second head start. No.
Finish this, then do your thing, and here's a list of people to start with. Just,
give me a 5-second head start. 3 seconds to finish, 2 seconds to run.
That's where civilization over when you're making fucking bartering deals with your sex robot. You're bartering with your sex robot. Like, all right, look, you
Just
can kill me, but you gotta wait until I gotta be last. I'm one of the last people you kill. Like, and you gotta make sure you come home every night. This is
We've been together. We've done things. I've seen you. more than just
here's a fucked up question. So say you had one of these bots, right?
Yeah.
You bought it, you paid for it, it's yours, legally yours, right?
Right.
If this thing goes off and it has an AI, all right? If this thing goes off and fucking like escapes from your home and goes on a killing spree, are you responsible for that, or is the designer responsible for that?
Let me ask you a little bit of both, I think. Let me ask you. I mean, I would say if it just goes crazy with default programming and starts murdering people, it's their fault. But if you like mod it, you fucking download a bad mod off the internet, and the bitch goes crazy, I think that's on you. Kind of like if your dog has rabies, starts running around biting people, that's kind of on you.
Well, no, that is fully on you.
Right. No, I'm saying if you download like a bad mod or you make aftermarket modifications against their wishes.
Austin goes and downloads an audio thing where it just neighs like a horse the whole time.
Right. God damn it, Webby. I had a fucking good joke and now I can't.
Sorry.
Right.
Hey, Austin, did your joke involve whiteface?
Oh,
Hey, Webby,
no, Austin, what's up?
You like,
God damn it,
like
Austin.
Austin, I'll save you. You download like the name mod, and one day you come home, she's in like full like Nazi dominatrix gear.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck?
This is not what I ordered. I do not see man.
But okay, so say you don't mod it or whatever. Say it's just stock the way it is, right, or whatever, and then it decides to just start killing people.
Oh, that's totally on them. That's on them.
All right, even though it's your property doing it.
That's her programming. That's her fucking programming. It goes off.
What if the programming though goes based on how you treat it? So
that would be fucked up. Like if you abuse it,
adaptable AI.
Yeah, it's like if you fucking abuse it, and then she's just like,
do your thing
one day she wakes up, she's like, I'm not fucking taking this shit anymore.
No, you walk in, right, and you're so used to abusing it, and like you raise your hand and you go to slap her.
I'm copywriting this.
No, hold on. You go to slap it because you're used to fucking abusing this robot, and she just grabs your wrist, and she just and then she just holds up like a butcher's knife. It's like, oh man, mistakes were made.
I'll be like, where'd you get that butcher's
Just fucking like Bruce Lee's your ass.
All right.
Like, you're not allowed. One inch punches you across the room.
Simply unprofessional public service announcement. People, do not beat your sex robots unless they ask for it.
Webby, this is an inside joke with me and you. I feel this is how I feel the same way Ghost Rider feels about thinking about beating your wife.
Oh,
That's
Jesus.
how I feel about sex robots.
God. Oh man.
That's how I feel about beating your sex robot.
Over my head.
Yeah, we went on a tangent yesterday about Ghost Rider and the penance stare and stuff like that.
And apparently Zarathos flipped out. He walked by a dude who had the thought of beating his wife, and Zarathos flipped out and wanted to send to penance him.
Well, you gotta think though, that's a different level. Like, I'm gonna say it's fucked up no matter if you hit a woman, whatever. Like if you're a man and you hit a woman that is your girl, I don't know. I'm not going too far into it, but usually those things happen because the man gets mad at the woman, boom, hits her, whatever. This guy's thinking about it. He's planning.
And then all of a sudden, fucking Flaming Skull comes over and grabs his arm because he just had the thought. Maybe his wife just got done nagging him, and he's just like, God,
probably one of the most terrifying throwaway lines ever in a Ghost Rider comic by Zarathos. One of the most terrifying lines ever by Ghost Rider by Zarathos in a Ghost Rider comic was something to the effect of "existing is sin."
What?
Oh, so then he just wants to kill everybody.
Yeah, legitimately, like that was the line. Just existing is sin to him.
Austin, one good thing though about the penance stare for Ghost Rider, we went through this yesterday. One thing that you'll appreciate being a Spider-Man fan, it won't help Spider-Man, but the penance stare does not work on symbiotes.
Oh.
So.
Well, what does the penance stare do? Makes you repent for all your bad things you've
Essentially, everything bad you've ever done in your entire life floods back to you, and you feel it in an instant. And it drives you insane.
All right, too.
It also does not work on people who don't regret things. So, like, he attempted to use it on the Punisher one time because Punisher goes around killing people. But the thing is the Punisher does not regret anybody that he kills.
I regret nothing.
He feels it's very much justified. So the penance there does not work on him. It also does not work on the Insane. So it won't work on Deadpool or Cletus Cassidy. Cletus Cassidy's free even if he doesn't have the symbiote on.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So my question is, somebody, maybe not Spider-Man, but somebody, maybe like just say Superman was here. Goody Two Shoes doesn't do anything wrong.
Yep.
Would it affect him?
You know what? I'm guessing that if Superman had killed somebody, even if it was on accident, right? And the Ghost Rider did the penance stare on Superman, I bet it would work overtime on Superman because of his fucking Boy Scout, soul.
Yep, I would agree with that. The real question is though, does it work on Carl Childers? That's the real.
Who's that?
Carl Childers from Sling Blade.
Oh. God damn it.
Never mind. Never mind. I've already did too many bad jokes.
There's never too many bad jokes, Austin.
Would it work on him? Because mentally handicapped and insane. Those kind of fall in the same.
Nah, they're different.
Boat. I know, but like
you can be mentally handicapped and still have empathy.
He just stares his eyes. He's like, biscuits and mustard.
It really does fall down to whether or not he feels
bad.
If he felt bad about it. That's the thing, is if you ever did anything in your life that caused you remorse, like any even sliver amount of remorse, all of those things come waving over you at once, and it drives you insane.
I think it would affect Sling Blade then, because he does regret killing his mom.
Does it kill you, Devin? The penance there?
It can. It's very much. The best way to describe it is very similar to the age of a Cainite. So, like, if they die, they're young.
Right. It depends on how much sin you've accrued.
How much sin, or
life.
like how long they live. Like, if you are a being of, if you're like a vampire or not a vampire, or you have a soul, or some type of like a demon or something that has a soul-ish, or something that resembles a soul, and you've been committing murder.
Like Angel. Angel is a vampire with a soul. It
yes,
would work,
so like Angel,
it would work very heavily on him.
It would work heavily on Angel, and it could potentially even like cripple him to the point of death.
All right. So we got off on a Ghost Rider tangent there, but that's fine. So
we talked about sex bots and a lot of
that's also a very true statement. Do you guys have any more questions regarding Black Panther?
What was your overall score?
For me,
scale of 1 to 10.
Okay, for me, I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna get shit for this. I'm gonna give it a 5, maybe a 5.5. It was good. Don't get me wrong, but it was average to me.
Is 5 average? I guess it is.
Well, on a
It's
scale from 1 to
direct
10, it's
middle.
right in the middle. I'm giving it a little above average. I might even lean a little towards the 6, but I'm not going above 6.
Hey, I got a new idea for when you rate these at the end.
Okay.
So this is Black Panther. So he gets 5. He gets 6 claws out of 10. 6 claws.
Oh,
right?
you're giving him you want to do the
No,
rating
no,
based
that's
off
weak.
of
No.
You know what I'm saying?
He gets 6 armored rhinos out of 10.
Okay. Really,
Okay.
anything.
Yeah,
Anything's fine with me.
I dig the armored rhinos.
All right, he gets I'll give him 8 and a nose horn.
8 armored rhinos. Also,
And a nose horn.
for when Ross does listen to this, because he has not seen Black Panther, so he won't listen to this until he does. I very much am proud of my rhinoceros.
Oh,
Sorry.
that's a thing.
That's one of his songs.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember you all talking about that.
Yep. So, Devin, what do you give it on a scale from 1 to 10 armored rhinos?
I'm actually sitting right with Austin. I think like about a 8.5 armored rhinoceroses out of 10.
All right. So I'm the one who lowballed it a little bit. And don't get me wrong, again, I don't want to get any comments like, oh, why did you hate fucking Black Panther? I did not hate Black Panther. I thought it was a great movie. It just did not supersede my expectations going into it. I did not get any of that wow factor for all of the hype that people did give it. So, and as far as rewatchability, there are other Marvel movies that I would rewatch again before that. So that is why I gave it a 6. I'll give it a 6. You guys have nudged me. I'll nudge it a little forward, and I'll give it the 6, the solid 6. So I guess that will wrap up our Black Panther / sex robot / Ghost Rider episode. Meh. We seem to go off on tangents.
Sex bot / Black Panther.
You know what I really appreciate about both of you,
What?
and about the listeners here at SU and all of us here at Distract. Well, I don't speak. The people on on Simply Unprofessional do not speak for all of Distractions Media, but I'm very proud that we managed to bridge the gap. And by talking about Black Panther, found a way to meld that into sex robots.
Yeah.
Like we bridged it there, folks. Okay,
Okay, little known fact about me: I can bring anything
to sex robots.
to sex robots, or just sex in general. It's not a hard jump for me.
It's not. But
It's weird. I have the same power, but I can only do it with candy canes. It's like I can get anything back to candy canes, but
what?
it's weird. I know.
What?
I mean, it's fine. I mean, oh, dude, we should do that.
Okay, hold on, Austin. Can you bring
So-
Thanos to candy canes?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to hear this.
He has a red stone. There's red on the candy cane.
So legitimately, just anything red or white
Also,
can be brought to a
also,
candy
you
cane?
remember when he made Mantis go into like the little swirls? It looked like she could wrap around the candy cane.
All right. Okay, I'll give you that one over the red one.
And he's fucking sweet, but a little bit spicy too. Like a candy cane.
All right, Gen Con game, guys. This is going to be a Gen Con game.
Yeah.
Um,
yeah.
So what we're going
Is
to do
this
is
something
we're going
that
to...
we want to continue recording this idea?
This is totally
Bruce?
fine. This is totally fine.
All
It's totally fine. We're gonna take. I'm gonna take like a deck of like old playing cards, like 40 cards, and I'm just gonna like write on the other side, just write a like a topic, and basically what you're gonna have to do is we're gonna start a round off with one topic. Everybody talk about it, and then when it gets back to you, everybody's gonna have to weave their topic, and when it gets back to you, you're gonna have to try to bring everything that was just said back around to what originally your topic was.
That would be so funny.
We're all gonna flip a card over. So like Austin gets truck, Webby gets candy cane, I get shaving cream, and somebody else gets like. And you have to have like a whole conversation where you bring that up.
And then
the
do we
person
have a
gets
card in the middle of the table that we flip, and that's the general discussion that we have to try to bridge off of?
Yes. And then he goes. So whoever's turn, when it gets to you, you have to try to bring what was just said prior. So it's like a demented game of telephone. You have to try to get what was just said prior and work it back to your original
And you talk about, like, I'm not saying, of course, this podcast is called Simply Unprofessional. We're not professional at all. But when we do like Dungeons and Dragons, that would be perfect, like, exercises for role playing. Like, you have this topic you have to get to, but you have to do it with this person's topic. You don't know what it is. Like, so you just have to improvise.
I just picture like we going around the table and Austin's talking about trucks or all of a sudden, something because that's his topic.
Webby,
and then all of a sudden it cuts to me and I just yell, Candy cane! Because I don't know how to bridge that gap. So
Webby,
I just yell it out.
Webby, let me bring Candy cane from Thanos to you. Thanos, all right. Thanos is related to death. Death is black. Black licorice. I hate black licorice. I prefer red licorice. Red is on the candy cane. Boom.
Yeah. Let's do one. Do one, Webby. Yeah.
I just
What am I trying? Give me a topic that I can bridge. We'll all go from Thanos. Give me something, and I'm gonna try to bridge it from Thanos to that.
Thanos to the game Pinochle.
I don't even know what Pinochle is. So,
all right.
You don't know what's gonna happen in the next Avengers movie.
Here. Okay. This is a randomly topic I generated. We're gonna try to get Thanos to Jimmy Carter.
What the fuck?
Thanos popped Captain America in the face. Captain America used to hang out with Peggy Carter. Peggy Carter and what did you say?
Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter. Yeah.
Share a last name.
They share a last name.
Okay.
Actually, this is kind of fun.
See, I would not be. I don't think I'm good at this. Like, I don't get how you. Like, I could do it maybe naturally in a conversation, but like, okay, give me a topic. I'm gonna try this.
Thanos to Pepper Potts. That one's easy.
I'm not gonna give you that one. I can't even do that one.
Let's have Devin use his random thing here.
All right.
Pepper Potts, that's super easy.
Webby, you got a D6 in front of you?
Sure.
All right, roll a D6.
That is a 3.
All right. So you're gonna try to get Thanos back to computer hard drives.
You can do it. I already did it.
Thanos to computer hard drives?
Yes, that was actually kind of hard for me.
No, I got it.
So Thanos has the space gem in his gauntlet that he ripped from Vision's forehead, and Vision was an AI created on a computer hard drive.
That's
Boom.
it.
There you go. You did it.
All right, this isn't so hard.
It's not so hard, but you know what? I think what we're gonna have to probably do is.
But the thing is if we scored these stories that we had to bridge these for,
well, that's what I was gonna say.
If we had to score them, I would
round,
score super low because I would literally be thinking of the quickest way there, and it would be such a dull story.
Oh no! Right. What I would do is I think what we would do is if you got everybody like a bunch of people playing, if you couldn't get one in, like you had a minute to make it happen. If you couldn't get it done in a minute, you're out. And every time somebody goes out, you then have to make an extra connection. So like round one, you have to make just one connection. You can make just one connection. So like Austin, like, oh, red is on he has the red stone, red's on a candy cane. But then it's now you make 2 connections. So it's like you have to then do this to this to this, and then you can go to your candy cane. And then every time somebody gets out, so you get down to the bottom of it where you have like 2 people left, you may have to make 10 connections to get to where you're going. That'll be fucking hard. That'll be fun though. Like it'll be really fun. It'll be even funner if you're drunk.
Yeah.
I think that's where I'll start coming out and being good at it.
We're gonna stream this.
I totally should.
It's fucked up.
Any stuff we do, we should stream.
Or here, if we're streaming it, we don't have enough people to like get somebody out. Every time you can't do one, you have to take a shot.
Okay, Devin asked me to do one real quick.
Do one.
I can't. Shut up.
Shot. Get Simply Unprofessional to Keanu Reeves.
That's easy. Me and Devin have talked about John Wick on Simply Unprofessional multiple times, and John Wick is played by Keanu Reeves.
True.
All right, now go from Simply Unprofessional to Avatar to John Wick.
Avatar: The Last Airbender or Avatar the movie?
The movie.
Hmm.
It's hard.
That is. That is hard. Who's calling me?
Okay, watch this. All right, you got
Okay.
this. So, Simply Unprofessional. I don't speak for everybody else. I did not particularly care for the movie Avatar. It wasn't the worst movie. Again, it seemed just a little too long for me. I did like the fact that they were all blue like Smurfs, and like Blue from Old School.
Mm-hmm.
You're my boy Blue, the old guy.
Mhm.
He was Will Ferrell's best friend, and just like Blue, dogs are man's best friend.
Mm-hmm. Or
Uh,
the dog Blue.
or
Blue's Clues.
sure, Blue's Clues. And John Wick had a dog who was his best friend who died, which caused him to murder everyone. And John Wick is played by Keanu Reeves.
Boom.
There you go.
I
Nice.
got another rule to it.
God damn
You
it.
gotta start talking as soon as the person finishes giving you the
Oh, it's like
I
fucking
would not-
improv now.
I would not
We
be able to do
improv
that.
Too? Oh, I actually like that.
I would not be able to do that. I'd
Super
have
on
to
the
think
spot,
out my
but
answer.
that will be interesting. Like you're like, all right, improv. All right, we're doing improv. That would be really fun. That'd be hard. That'd be fun though. That would be good, like for acting. Like, that'd be great for role playing. Fuck.
Yeah. Webby, you did it. You just took a little bit of time right before
Yeah.
you did.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, that's my thing is I would need a little bit of time to initiate that.
Some of these are so depressing. Like,
But we are running on that about hour and a half mark ish.
awesome.
So we will wrap this up and we will continue. We're gonna kind of flesh out this game a little bit more, listeners, so that way maybe we'll do it and record it and I won't sound so stupid.
What if
Also-
they have suggestions?
Oh, if they have suggestions, they can post them on the Facebook or at facebook.com/simplyunprofessional or
Or email.
email at simplyunprofessional at gmail.com.
The only requirement is if you email or Facebook those questions, you also have to email us a advice question. I'm kidding. You
Yeah.
have to do that, but you should.
But do it though. Why
now-
not?
Also, any of these wacky ideas that we kind of come up with, maybe we'll start spitballing some of these game ideas, especially once we get closer to Gen Con. And maybe we'll start doing them at the end of SUs a little bit, or just testing them at the end of some of these SUs. Like we did today with the weird candy cane jump game, I guess. I don't even know what this is called. Bridging the Gap?
Candy cane jump. I like bridging the gap.
Bridging the gap. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
We could sell this. Mattel, hit us
Oh
up.
my god! Don't say anything else
No,
about it
not
on here.
Mattel. Not Mattel. Yo, Hasbro.
Okay,
No.
whoever.
Yo, whoever. Yo,
Hey,
Monopoly guy.
Mr.
So anyway,
Moneybags, hit us up.
yeah, Mr. Moneybags. So Austin, where can people
What's
find
up?
you on the internet?
Man, probably in Spider-Man form. Hey, you guys can find me at CZF3.
Yeah, he will be in Spider-Man 4. Actually,
Ow.
he will be in Spider-Man 4, painting Whiteface onto Venom.
Oh,
I brought it back.
He's gonna. Wrong. I'm not gonna paint White
Webby and
Face on
Austin,
Venom.
check the Discord SU.
I'm gonna turn him into anti-Venom.
Okay.
I approve.
What are we looking at? Oh.
At the SU chat.
I can't. That's a video, and it's gonna end up
Not-
recording.
The pictures before the video too, but
Oh.
the video specifically for Austin.
That's dope.
No, I don't see it. I don't.
You
see the
guys can
resemblance.
find.
Anyway, Devin, where can they find you?
You guys can find me at DMP_Pookie on Twitter and at Poo Killed Me on Twitch.
And as always, you guys can follow me on Twitter at Jax Forest Walker, all one word. The Facebook Simply Unprofessional page, which I already gave you the address for. You guys can email us, simplyunprofessional@gmail.com. Give us
Oh, cool.
questions, ideas, topic ideas, anything you want to do, you can just email and say hi. It'll make my day. Also, rate and review us. We've been getting some pretty cool reviews. It's been pretty uplifting. Other than that, and as always, we're going to sign out a big fuck Booster Gold.
Fuck Booster Gold. I'm going to interview a preacher next week.
Yeah. I forgot how to get Craig out.
Okay, it's gone now. It doesn't matter.